Golly, guys, listen, man. What up with it? Your boy T was blazing the sports, man. I've been trying to go live for 15 minutes, but work, man. Everybody's coming to ask me questions. But listen, man, let's talk about it. Let's get it cracking. The expert James in the building says, "What's good, T-Dub? The Coward Fury gave up the BBC license. Yes. So the UK investigation might not affect him, but it will his brother he refused as a cousin. A brother, I remember. Brave Click, he didn't do none. All right. What up, guys? Listen, is the mic working? I don't hear it. Hold on. Ch. Yo. Can you hear me? Yo. Shit. Is this mic working? Let's get it. Can you hear me? Give me a 1. Give me a 2. Give me a 1, 2, 3. You can get this work. Can you hear me? Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the place tonight? Stand up. Can you? Let me try on, guys. Let's get it. Okay, we go. AD's in the building. What's up, man? I just went live. AD, what's the cracking? Says, what's good? What's blazing? We can hear you, Derek. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Sorry for being late, man. Like I said, work got tied up. I wanted to go on earlier, but everybody, even right now, was hitting me. They want reports. Guys, jeez, weeds. It's only one of me. All right, guys. So the topic of the day is Tyson Fury. Is he in deep Boar? Shh. Yes or no? I don't know, but we can talk about it. Should Dillian Whye be WBC champion? And what I mean, guys, when I say this, should Dillian Whye, if anything happens to Tyson Fury, if he vacates the title, retires, if he strips, I don't know. Which, listen, I doubt that. But if something crazy happened, Eddie Hearn has mentioned, and he said this. He said that if something happens to Fury, where the belt is available, it should be given to Dillian Whye. That's what I want to discuss. If something happens and that belt is up in the air, should it be given, fight free, to Dillian Whye? American Panther Driver in the building. What's going on? What's cracking, homie? T-Dub, what it do? Salute to the chat. Salute to Expert Genius. What's blazing, homie? And as always, guys, we're welcome to call in. I know AD was supposed to call in and touch on this matter. I want to get his thoughts on Tyson Fury, the former, this wild, uncastrated bull meat. I want to talk about it. You want to hear about it? Listen, man, in these corona times, right? YouTube is like a saver. YouTube is a stress reliever. For any of you guys that catch this, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, because T-Dub is trying to do what T-Dub does best. Give you this work, give you this medicine. It'll allow you to be a little bit stress relief, get through these times a little bit better as T-Dub give you this work. And remember, it's not written, it's not rehearsed. It's raw, authentic. I am back at it like a crack at it, giving you boxing geekers this work. Now, let's get into it. Tyson Fury is in deep, not Boar, but Boar shit. Do you believe it? My boy Expert Genius did a video today. I saw it, just to let you know. He said this. He says, Tyson Fury gave up the BBC license. And guys, I remember when he done this. I remember when Tyson Fury did a video saying, listen, all my fights from now on is going to be in the USA. It's going to be in America. They treat me right over here. Back there, they did not treat me right. All my fights going to be over here. If Anthony Joshua wants to fight me, it has to be over here. Until now, I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe because of his deal signing with Top Rank, which is a U.S. base, you know, the American boxing company. Of course, they want to grow boxing here and not just other places unless the dollar makes sense. Uh, I didn't think a lot about it, you know. I guess I thought that, you know what, I guess gypsies are treated differently in the UK than over here. See, over here, I don't think people look at, oh, you're a gypsy, oh, you this. Honestly, I think they look at it if you're black or white. That's the basics. Then from there, it branches off to Hispanic and Asian and stuff like that. But pretty much, if you are if you look Caucasian, that's how you're treated, even if you're a gypsy. And by the looks of Tyson Fury, he looks Caucasian, even though he's a gypsy king. Now, guys, let's get into it, right? So there's a former that came out. This former said, listen, I was approached by his team. They said they wanted me to vouch for his claim that he got, was it wild, uncastrated boar meat. So I did it. And they said they're going to pay me $25,000. I have not got paid. Where is my money? He said, listen, I feel guilty, I feel ashamed, and I did not get paid. I was put through the ringers. I had people asking me about, send me pictures of your, uh-oh. Champ, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's good? What's going?
Hey, you know what? I got you. I actually answered me on my laptop. Let me turn this down. Let me get this cooking. All right. Let's do. All right, champ, man. We got the one, the only ADs in the building. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. And AD, guys, if you cannot hear AD, let me turn this microphone up a little bit more. Just let me know and I'll figure something out to where you can. All right, AD, do me a favor. Just say testing 1, 2 or anything.
1, 2, 1, 2, testing.
Got you, champ. All right, so AD, man, you see the topic. Let's go with the first thing. Do you believe Tyson Fury is in deep bullshit? What do you think about the former's claims? Any of that? What do you think?
I don't think he's in deep bullshit. That's a good one. But I think he's found a way around it, even if they do try and bring these allegations up. But I believe he'd already served a 2-year suspension and he handed his license in before the Wilder fight. So, I mean, it still don't look great. It does look a bit shifty, to be fair. But, I mean, what's done 5 years ago, that's done now, man. It had nothing to do with the Aruba. But I hope Whyte gets his shot regardless. And if Fury does get stripped, Whyte will be a worthy champion. He's waited a long time.
Now, going back to that former, I know some people thought that this might have been Deontay Wilder, people doing this because they were sad that he lost, but Frank Warren came out and said that he was actually approached by this guy back in October before the rematch, which means that this guy, this former, had an issue with this before they even fought the second time. Do you really, I mean, could there be some truth in your opinion that he said, listen, man, I feel bad, I feel ashamed, and I didn't get paid? Basically, like a hooker that was promised $5 for a fuck. That he feel fucked. He feel like, do you believe that he's telling the truth and you know, there's some validation to his claims?
I've got to be honest with you. If I was that farmer and I knew Tyson Fury had just made £20 million from Wilder and £15 million from the WWE, I would not be asking for £25,000. It should be more in 100, 200, 300, up to £500,000, like he'd be asking for. So I mean, I don't know. I just think 25 grand is a bit low. If you're going to bribe somebody, do it properly. Come on.
But you know, remember this was what he should have been paid back in 2015. when Tyson Fury tested positive and the excuse that was used. And if you don't know, the former has submitted written a copy of what he sent to UCAT back then, vouching for Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but again, if somebody has fucked me over for 25 grand, yeah, I would not be asking for 20. I'd be asking for like a lot more. Yeah, this just don't add up to me. I mean, hopefully it's not true. I mean, you never know. No, it does look shifty. I will give it that, but things just don't add up to me, man. I think Warren would have paid that 25 grand like that with a click of his fingers. Yeah. It's like that farmer come back up 4 or 5 years later and said, "Look, I'm going to have my papers in unless you give me that 25 grand." That would have been the best 25 grand Warren had spent in the last fucking 25 years.
You know, me personally, I don't know, but it sounds shady, and honestly, I would say this: I kind of believe the former, but I also believe that nothing's going to happen because either you're lying now and told the truth then, or you was lying then and told the truth now. Either way, you have just proved that you're a liar. I don't know, but I have to say this: he has produced evidence that made me believe. Listen, AD, we know that we've seen this happen. When people want to get things passed, they put their money up. And it sounds like the former is saying this. The Gypsy King gypped me out of $25,000 that he said he's going to pay me for saying that I sold him wild boar. The UCAT questioned this man. He submitted evidence that they questioned him. They asked for specific pictures that he couldn't provide. He said, listen, I had to go to another place that had wild boar, but it wasn't me. They asked for me to be in the picture. So it sounded like that it was a lot of, it's very questionable. Can nobody doubt that if Fury tested positive and his excuse was, I ate meat from an uncastrated with the balls and slinger wang on it, that, it don't sound right, bro.
Do you know the only problem with that is, why wouldn't he just go to the wild boar farmer? Why would you go to a farmer that doesn't farm wild boar, ask him to lie? And also, you've got to bear into consideration that it was him and Chewy Fury. So that's only £12,500 each person. These are international boxing stars, you've got to remember. They've got a lot to lose. Now, Frank Warren or the Fury family surely would have paid a measly 25 grand at the click of a wrist, unless it wasn't true, of course. So, I mean, either they're very stupid and tight-ass bastards that fucking would rather get Fury into a lot of trouble over 25 grand, or the farmer's lying, and out of principle, they're not going to give him the 25 grand. So, again, there's two sides to this story. You've got to look at all the facts and work out, is it worth not paying the man 25 grand and having all of our reputations tarnished? Now, surely, if you were really in that situation, you would have paid that in the flick of a heartbeat. So, I don't know, bro, but it looks shady, but I don't believe it's true.
Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about this. Eddie Hearn said that if something happens to Fury and them belts, which to me, that makes me think Eddie Hearn believes there's a possibility that something can happen. Fury could retire. He could relinquish the belt. Something. At least he thinks there's a small chance that something could happen. If he is right, which I don't think he's right, but if he is right, he believes that the belt should be given to Dillian Whye, not fight for it, but given. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it should be given to Dillian Whye, but you've also got to remember the WBC's got a mandatory that will be being called in February regardless. So Wilder would then become number one as he's number 3 behind Fury and Whyte. So if Whyte's champion, Wilder will automatically be fighting him. So, I mean, if that is the case, then maybe you guys should look at it like Wilder's got a much better chance of beating Dillian Whye than he has the Gypsy King.
Now, before you said fighting Wilder, you did agree that he should be given the belt. Why should he be given the belt and not fight for it?
Well, he should be given it because he's waited 900 days. He's been WBC Diamond. He's been WBC.
But that's different, though. AD, that's different. Listen, You can be a diamond champ, a champ, rubber band champ, hula hoop champ. It doesn't matter. He was not mandatory. He
I
wasn't
know
in that
it doesn't
position.
matter. Wilder's not champion no more, right? And there is a champion, right? Which is Tyson Fury. Now, Dillian Whye is the interim, the WBC Diamond and the WBC silver belt holder. There is no one else that belt should go to apart from Dillian Whye. Now, yes, Wilder was a great champion for 5 years, but that's over now. And I believe that Wilder should be first in line to fight Dillian Whye. He should be made champion.
First of all, I don't believe Dillian Whye should be given nothing. Typically, when a belt is vacated, two people have to fight for it. You don't just make Dillian Whye the champion. He cherry-picked his way around the heavyweight division. He's, you know what, this is what I believe. I believe he should fight Wilder for it. If some kind of way something happens to Fury, and let's say the belt is just up in the air, I think that Wilder and Whyte should fight for it, and Whyte, where his head will be on the spike.
Right, well, obviously you do. You're a Wilder fanboy, right? But can I just get back to the point that you made from Dillian Whye fighting cherry pick? Now he beat Joseph Parker, who was a champion, and he's only been beaten by AJ, yeah, and he's also beaten Ruiz. You got to remember. So
hold on. Dillian Whye ain't beat no Andy Ruiz.
No, he's beaten Joseph Parker, who has beaten Andy Ruiz.
Hey, hold on. You talking about a controversial fight that many people thought that Andy won. Come on now.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The
Jeez, God damn.
You can't say it was a controversial fight. Loads of fights are controversial. The results are what matters, and the results is a W.
Listen.
Also beating another 4 top 15 heavyweights.
Dillian Whye is a ducker that make excuses. When Ortiz wanted to fight him, he went and fought somebody. Hold on, are you there? All right, you there? Okay, here we go, champ. Dillian Whye, when Luis Ortiz wanted to fight him way back, instead of fighting Ortiz and call Ortiz old, he went and fought a guy by the name of Lucas Brown, who not only was old, but looked old. Lucas Brown looked like somebody had to help him off the couch. Still looked like he had to help off the couch. And after he beat Lucas Brown, that was his claim to fame to tell Deontay Wilder, let's go, Wilder, let's go. Even when it come down to fighting Oscar Rivas, where he tested positive for D-ball, where he came in the ring with some gloves that was not agreed on or tested beforehand, and they made that for the mandatory spot. That wasn't even a mandatory fight that was actually offered by the WBC. They told him to fight Ortiz. They told him to fight Tyson Fury. He fought everybody. He fought the person he wanted to fight, not the people that he was ordered to fight. And he still got his way. He's a ducker, man. If he really wanted that work, he would have fought Ortiz. And I want him to fight Wilder so he can meet his doom. It's coming his way.
Okay, again, now you're just showing yourself up to be the Wilder fanboy that you are, because I've got to be honest with you, Blazing, the only people that rate Ortiz are Wilder fanboys who protect Wilder's terrible, atrocious record, because Ortiz is the only half-decent name, right, and he's not decent, and he was 39 and 40, yeah? So I don't care what you want to say about Ortiz. Ortiz is a nobody, right? He brings nothing to the table, he's got no fan base, he don't sell pay-per-views, and he don't put bums on seats. Why the fuck should a pay-per-view star like Wyatt be fighting Wilder's leftovers? Now, nobody even, like, honestly, like, you lot are delusional because you think that the world thinks Ortiz is good. Nobody outside PBC channels think that Ortiz is any good. He passed it, and Wyatt would destroy him.
All right. Then let's talk about this, champ. Even if you say nobody thinks Ortiz is no good, the fact is that he was ranked, been in mandatory positions, been ranked high in sanctioning bodies, proves that no matter what you say, the sanctioning bodies respected with Ortiz, his body of work that he put in. Most people that talk about Ortiz on any level, on any platform, will admit that he is one of the best purest heavyweight boxers there is out there. They look at the best pure boxer being either Ortiz or Tyson Fury. So just because you say that and he doesn't sell. Now, who was Dillian Whyte's last opponent?
Dillian Whyte's last last opponent
Uh-huh.
was Mario Whyte.
All right, and you telling me Whack was a seller?
No, Whyte
And,
was a takeover fight.
okay. Now, okay. Now we're gonna get to it.
Let me finish. One sec, yeah. That fight only got announced 3 weeks before the AJ fight actually happened. So that was literally just a chuck another heavyweight on there and kick things over. That was not a serious challenge.
Look, man. It's a challenge he took. He fought. He fought Whack, who is old, and he couldn't speak English. I don't believe. And the reasons he said he didn't fight Ortiz, because of them very same reasons. Now, who is he rumored to fight next? Is it Povetkin?
Povetkin, who's got a much better resume than
Okay,
Ortiz.
you know, and I agree. I agree with you. Go ahead. Shoot. Go ahead.
Now, he's got also a better amateur as well. I thought you might bring that in. Go on.
Now you're breaking up. When you talk real loud, it muffles your voice. But what you say? Go ahead.
I was just saying he's got a better resume and also amateur pedigree and background.
Well, hold on. He ain't got no better. Okay, you tell me that Maurice Vac, whatever his name is, has a better amateur pedigree than Luis Ortiz? Povetkin? Don't Ortiz. What is Povetkin amateur record? I think Ortiz is 300 and some fights with minimal losses.
Right. He's got an Olympic gold medal for a start. Yeah. And secondly, he's won. He's second to none. His amateur record. And I think the only person to ever beat Povetkin apart from AJ is Klitschko. So I mean, Klitschko and AJ, the only losses on your record. That's not a lot to be ashamed of there, I don't believe.
What I'm getting down to is that Dillian Whye's main argument is that Luis Ortiz is 99 years old. But Dillian Whye is continuing to show a pattern of fighting old fighters. When you look at his last few fighters that he fought, hold on, son. When you look at his last few fighters, remember, anytime Dillian Whye mentions Luis Ortiz, he always brings up their age. Povetkin is damn near 39, 40 years old. Fucking Maurice Whack is damn near 39, 40 years old. You look at he did a rematch with Derek Chisora. Parker, who honestly, I think Parker's a good fighter, but Parker just don't have the heart of a fucking killer. He can't pull the trigger if his life depended on it. And then he fight Lucas Brown, who at that time was 38, damn near 40 years old. He has a pattern out of the last 5 or 6 opponents of fighting people in the exact same category age-wise of Luis Ortiz. But the fact is that Ortiz was ranked in the sanctioning bodies, been mandatory #1 spots in the sanctioning bodies, highly recognized by the WBC, and you telling me with all that, it doesn't matter if you think he's a shitty fighter, doesn't matter if you think his record, doesn't matter if you think he cannot speak English or not. The fact is he was recognized, and that fight would have elevated Dillian Whyte's career because the sanctioning body respected him. They respected that win no matter what you say or I said, and at that, he is a ducker.
Right. How would it have helped his career when he's #1? He has been for fucking the last 900 days.
Because here, all right, okay, let's talk about that.
One sec, yeah. Can I just say, Povetkin and Chisora have fought a lot better competition of people than Ortiz. Now, let's get one thing straight.
Hold on, let me address that. Let's take it one step at a time. You said, how would it have helped out his career? Well, let me explain it to you. Dillian Whye was not in a mandatory position. Even if he was ranked #1, there is a difference. Dillian Whye was ordered by WBC to fight Luis Ortiz for that #1 mandatory spot. Maybe a couple fights before he fought Oscar Rivas. He was ordered to fight him at least twice. And he said no. The first time they offered him to fight him, he said no. And then he was going to fight Pulev, but I believe Pulev and company won the purse bid, so he went on to fight Parker. And then they told him the WBC ordered him again to fight Ortiz. He said no. This guy has duck work. What do you mean what he could have gained from it? He could have got that mandatory spot alone. Think about this. He would have had that mandatory spot a long time ago, and instead of that being Dominique Brazil in that ring, getting his fucking Taco Bell wrong, that would have been Dillian Whye in that ring, getting his Taco Bell wrong. Let's go.
Dillian Whye hasn't got to prove anything to Deontay Wilder fanboys. Let's get that straight.
No, the WBC ordered this. Come on, man. The WBC ordered.
Street, yeah? Nobody in England thinks it's a ducker. Nobody worldwide thinks it's a ducker. And a lot of people in America don't. It's only PBC Wilder fanboys that do. Well, secondly, can I just say, you forgot to add the bit where Dillian Whye offered Lewis Ortiz £2.5 million to fight when Ortiz's purse was only a £500,000 higher payday versus Wilder. Now, and Ortiz priced himself out. So, they know what money Ortiz is looking, yeah? Ortiz priced himself at the Joshua fight. Joshua said it was $7 million. He turned around and said he wants $10 million. Yeah, the man...
No, come on. Hey, champ. Let's stick to it. We ain't talking about Joshua. I can talk about Joshua all day. We're sticking to your boy, Dillian Whye. You ask him what he would have gained. Listen, you can say Wilder fanboys or not. This is not me. The person he needed to prove something to was the people that ordered him, the title he wanted to represent. He wanted to be the WBC king. He wanted that shot. So, the WBC ordered him to fight Ortiz, and he backed out. He said no, and then was going to fight Pulev. And then Pulev won a purse bid, so then he said no then, and then he fought fucking Parker, who's shown that he could have beat Anthony Joshua, but didn't have the fucking heart to pull the trigger. So what about Dillian Whye testing for D-ball and using gloves that was untested?
Well, he's been cleared for that for a start. So that is innocent until proven guilty, and he was proven innocent.
No, he wasn't. No. Hey, come on now. He wasn't proven innocent. Where's that B sample? The B sample is the proof. Here's what was proven. UCAD came back and said this. UCAD said that, listen, even though, we tested him, we busted his ass for D-ball. On second thought, it wasn't that much in his system, so we're going to let him go. He was not proven innocent. They just dropped the fucking charges. They still admitted he had D-ball in his system. The same thing they busted him for, the same thing he had to sit out for, they just dropped it. Coincidentally, the same time he's going to fight for AJ. Somebody got paid off. The same time he's going to fight on the AJ undercard, somebody got paid off.
Right, you just answered your own question. You just said he got cleared of it. If you get cleared of something, that means you are not guilty.
You said proven. No. I want to show you the difference between proven and cleared. He wasn't proven innocent. The proof was in that B sample. That's where it was.
It wasn't enough in the sample to charge him.
Bro,
he's been proven innocent.
Here's what they did.
Stop.
Here's what they did. Here's what they did. Unofficially, what they did, and they do this all the time when it comes to being in jail and stuff, they gave him time served without calling it time served. That's what they did. He sat out for a while. He wasn't able to do much for a while. He was stripped of his mandatory, and he was put off of it. So basically, they gave him time served without calling it time served. And somehow it happens right before he fought on the Anthony Joshua court. He wasn't proven. He was cleared, yes, but he wasn't proven. But listen, I'm not arguing if he should fight. I want him to fight Wilder. I want him to.
Right. Again, everyone in England and everyone around Europe thinks he's innocent, and most people in America acknowledge that he's innocent. So, you can say what you like, but the bottom line is he's innocent, and bottom line is he's interim champion, which means if anything happens to the champion, that belt goes to him. He's right. He's earned that right, and he's earned it well, and he deserves his shot, and he's going to get it. But he ain't going to get it because we know Fury ain't going to lose that belt.
So let's look at it this way. To me, do I want him to get his shot? Absolutely. See, if I was a Wilder fanboy and I'm just scared of Dillian Whye, then I won't want that fight. Listen, I want that fight more than any Dillian Whye fan ever. I want it. I want it now because I believe that Wilder's going to take his head off. That's just my belief. I even said this. I wanted it before the Fury rematch because I want somebody to give Whyte what he's asking for, a punch in the fucking mouth.
Can I just say something? I think that you want it because you know that if Wilder fights Fury again, Fury's going to take his head off.
No. No, I want to listen. Let me make it real. Let me make this correction for you. I wanted it before Wilder fought Tyson Fury the second time. That's when I wanted it. Because even though I thought the Wilder versus Fury fight would be a good fight, I wanted Dillian Whye because I wanted his head on the spike. But now the fight that needs to come first is Fury versus Wilder 3. Listen, unlike you, I believe that there was something in the gloves. The gloves should not be flopping like that. They was too loose and it was flopping around unnaturally. I believe with all this being brought up, that those things are not going to be in play the second time around. I think there's going to be more attention on there. I think the referee is going to be warned about it. I think the behind the head shot's going to stop and putting somebody in chokeholds and standing up on it. A lot of that's going to take place. I think, honestly, it's going to be definitely a different fight than the second fight. That's just my honest opinion, and I think Wilder will win.
All right, well, can I just say, that you might believe the gloves are loaded, but Wilder doesn't believe the gloves are loaded.
Wilder hasn't said anything about it, so you can't say what he believes.
They said that fucking the costume was the reason why he lost. They lost.
Hold on.
Sure the gloves
Did you hear him say that?
Let me speak quickly. Yeah. Now he turned around and said that the costume was too heavy. Yeah, which is a terrible excuse. So if he's using terrible excuses like that, surely a great and also an excusable excuse is somebody's gloves were loaded or somebody cheated or I could feel their knuckles. But he hasn't come out and said this. Neither of his team. Now the NSSA, have come out and said that they, after testing and whatever, and looking at the evidence, that there has been no foul play.
Okay.
So again, the only one pushing his narrative. The fans.
Okay. Now.
Really
Hold on. Before you jump subject a little bit, let's stay right there. Let's put a little bit glue on that. Let's stay right there. Now, on one hand, you saying Wilder is talking about his helmet is too big and all that, right? And you're using that as an excuse. Then on the second hand, you say Wilder, he's not talking about Fury had loaded gloves. So my thing is, listen, Wilder has not came out and made a statement at all. It is funny how you want to use Deontay Wilder's words against him when you haven't even heard it out of Deontay Wilder's mouth. You heard it through somebody else telling you how they recall something that they heard. You haven't even heard him say anything. You haven't heard him say nothing about no headgear, no helmet, and no matter what he said about it. You don't even know the context he even used it. You're only going by what somebody else said. But now that's true. That's truthful. All the media was great. Think about this. Nobody heard Wilder out of his mouth or video say anything about the armor he was wearing. Could be true, could not be true, could be used in a different context. But every major media was talking about it. But now when you look on camera, you can see a glove doing a whole 360 spin, flipping back like a rubber band. Listen, you can bend, when you have on gloves, yes, you can bend your wrist and some. Yes, you can. But you cannot bend it backwards like that. You can't even bend your wrist backwards when it doesn't have on gloves 90 degrees like that. And what we saw from Tyson Fury gloves, it has the world talking about it. It has fighters coming out there talking about it. It has people like Steve Cunningham talking about how he was done dirty. The referee in that same match afterwards said that Tyson Fury is the most dirtiest fighter he ever ref. You have training partners that was training Tyson Fury to fight other people, talking about how he's taking padding out of gloves. So for you to sit up here and act like this man does everything right and would not, and these allegations are completely false based on his past, I gotta say you are a goddamn liar, AD. You're not looking at the evidence in front of you. You're ignoring it. Let's go.
Do you know what I am? I'm a realist. And you know what you are? You're delusional, right? You cannot even admit that your man got outboxed by the superior boxer. Fury is a much better boxer than Wilder.
Okay, I agree.
He's got a longer reach. He's bigger. He hurt him. Gloves, there was nothing in the gloves.
I agree.
They were signed. The gloves get signed when they're put on. The wraps get signed. Everything gets signed off. Jay Diaz is present. But what you've got to say now is if them gloves, like you're claiming, are
Well, listen. Listen. I don't know if they're loaded or not. The one thing I do know is they're not put on properly. From one wrist, you can't see the tape, and on the other wrist, you can see about 2.5 inches of the tape on the wrist, which means that one glove is lower than the other. When somebody is wrapping hands, when somebody is hold, hold,
I
hold,
mean that one of the tapes is higher up in the
no,
wrist
no, no,
than the
no.
other.
Let me finish this for you. No, let me finish this. When the same person is wrapping your hands, they like to do things the exact same way. They know on the person's hands how far to go up.
Right.
Hold on, let me finish. Remember, remember, I am a trainer, AD. I wrap hands, AD. I'm only telling you from first.
It's not every trainer's got OCD.
Let,
Some trainers have their methods that it might be uneven on one
let,
side.
let, but let me finish, AD. I did not get a chance to change the picture on my monitor, but if you look on the monitor, there's a picture still up there of Tyson Fury, left hand, and it looks like it is bent backwards, a 90-degree angle. I'm telling you, if you put a square or a rectangle right there, that square part would fit in perfect. They do me a favor, with no gloves on, I want you to try to bend your wrist back 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Are you able to do it?
Yeah.
You telling me you can take your wrist and bend it. I'm not talking about no 50 degrees or 45-degree angle, but 90 degrees without gloves on. You can bend it back with no problems.
Yeah. My hands at 12 o'clock, yeah? I've got to bend them to 3 o'clock, yeah? Now, I can't do to 3 o'clock, but I can do to about 2 o'clock. I can do maybe 33 and a half, 40 maybe. Sorry, 66. Yeah, I can do about 60, about 65% or so, right?
All right, so you're saying you can do about 65 degrees, right?
60, 65, yeah.
Okay, now let me just talk about this. You have admitted that without anything on your wrist, that you can bend your hand back to about 60, 65 degrees. Listen, I can't argue with that. Some people are a little bit more flexible. But the one thing that's nearly impossible, unless you are double wristed, is going back 90 degrees. Now imagine this. Remember, I was a fighter first before a trainer. Imagine that when you wrap your hands in gauze and then you wrap it with tape, you purposely wrap the wrist to not bend like that easily. You purposely wrap the wrist and the top part of your knuckles. You wrap those securely. And now I want you to imagine this, with the gauze and the tape on there to minimize your movement. The reason they don't want your wrist to move like that, because you can break your wrist very easily if you're punching like that. Then I'm imagining them putting gloves on. Brand new gloves. AD, you know what it's like to put brand new shoes on. It's uncomfortable. They're very stiff. They put on very stiff boxing gloves that are not flexible in the back part like that. That's where the padding's at. Again, now you got extra padding that is fighting the resistance of your hand bending backwards. So with all that being said, if that was on your hand now, that you can bend somewhere between 60 and 65 degrees without having gloves on, with all those restraints put in place, what would you think your new bend would be?
I'm not too sure really, because it's going to be a less, but regardless of all this, right, you can give me all these angles and all of this. I watched that fight. Well, I've watched that fight 4 times, yeah? And all I saw is a whole can of arsenal thing. I didn't see no cheating. I didn't see anything that looked suspect. I didn't have to start slowing videos down and trying to get weird angles and then saying, look, he's cheating, come on, man. I just saw a fucking straight up and down arse beat.
Okay.
That's it.
And shout out to my boy Don in the building. Shout out to Frank West in the building. What is cracking, homies? All right, listen, I say this a lot of times. I think Tyson Fury can fight. I don't question his skills. I think for 6'9", he's a freak of nature with what he can do in the ring. But I also look at the glove thing. I look at it like a magician, right? A magician does things right in front of your eyes. They put a ball under a cup. You're watching the cup, and then the fucking ball is gone. So if you're not looking for, remember, that's looking for the ball. But for a lot of things, if you're not looking for it, you won't see it. So a lot of times you won't be able to see the glove halfway down. Now, did he beat Wilder? Yes. That he obviously won the fight. Were there some illegal things done in that fight? Yes. But I believe that's up to the referee to monitor that more. But I think the biggest thing is when the gloves are halfway down his wrist. If you say this, it doesn't matter if the glove is halfway down, if your gloves are halfway off, he got his ass booked. You cannot ignore somebody's gloves is halfway down that damn wrist. And they're punching the man with a wrist. That plays a huge factor in that win and what goes forward.
Well, you need to drop it now, man. It's not a good look to keep going on about it, mate. You're not getting nowhere. The commission's already said it was fine. Everybody in the professional boxing world has said it was fine. And Wilder and Nora of his team have moaned about it. It's time for you guys to just drop this narrative. It ain't gonna win. It ain't gonna wash. Just forget about it because you're making yourselves look fucking very not knowledgeable because. You can say, I'm an expert and this and that, but all the actual boxing experts and professionals think differently to you. So, AD,
I'll let you spill your shit just so I can flush it. You're absolutely wrong. When you look at fighters like Earl Spence Jr., and you look at fighters like Steve Cunningham, you look at past opponents, you look at what referees said, there's a lot of people that are very vocal, that are professional fighters in the industry that you just spoke of that are saying that those gloves were not properly on right. George Grove, a professional fighter, agreed that there's something wrong with those gloves. Nobody is doubting that. Listen, I don't want Tyson Fury, I'm being honest, I don't want Tyson Fury suspended. I want him to fight Wilder. I want the third fight. But the fact is that people like me are doing a very good job. Even if nothing comes about, even if nothing happens to Tyson Fury, it has been brought to the surface. Even if Wilder never says nothing about it, you can bet your last dollar he would talk to the referee. He would talk to the commissioner. He's going to talk to everybody he needs to talk to about watch them gloves, check them gloves, watch this. It's going to bring a lot more attention to something that nobody brought attention to the first time.
No, because again, right, after Fury beating the hell out of Wilder for the first time, you guys are going to find more wet, moist, soggy excuses. Like, let's be fair, yeah? I think the commission and everyone doesn't look at them gloves. The gloves don't leave the site commission in any fight, let alone the WBC heavyweight championship of the world fight. Now, make no mistake about this, yeah? Them gloves were looked at. They're going to get looked at exactly the same, and the result is going to be exactly the same, if not quicker, and Wilder will be knocked out this time.
Well, you know what? If that's the case, then that's just the case. Again, I want the third fight. I'm not trying to be adamant for a suspension. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? If Fury destroys Wilder like he did in the second fight, yeah, are you then going to give him props and say maybe we got it wrong, maybe we were looking into it a bit too much?
No,
and he has actually beaten it 3 times.
No. I would give him. Hold on, champ. Hold up, champ. I would give him credit for his win. If he goes out there and beat Deontay Wilder fair and square, I would give him credit for a win. Remember, I called this fight live. I gave him credit live. Don't say I won't. I'll give credit where credit is due. But even if he beats Wilder in their third fight, it doesn't change what happened in the first 2 fights. If me and you fight the first fight, let's say me and you fight, right? The first 2 times, right? The first time I fought you, I had my laces loosed, which I've never seen laces loose like that. My laces loose. My gloves flapping, and I'm whooping your motherfucking head across that wall. We fight again, right? I'm whooping your head across that wall. And then finally, people are saying, wait a minute, his gloves are not on right. His gloves are not on right. And my gloves finally get put on right, and everything is feeling right. Even if we fight again and I win, it does not erase me cheating you those first 2 times. If I had to illegally get something, it does not go away. Listen, right now in the Me Too movement, shit happened years ago, and they get punished for it today. So it doesn't matter if it happened in the past. The fact is, the first fight, his glove was found to be loose lace, knuckles shown. The second fight, loose lace, knuckles shown. Now, if he goes out and he wins the third fight fair and square, I give him credit. I'm not taking away from him.
Listen. I'll tell you what. the world looked at it like this. Fury was cheated out of the first fight.
No, it wasn't.
He won. Hold up, let me speak. The world, apart from PBC's fanboys and channels, right, and this is not, I'm not just saying it, right? I'm telling you it, yeah, because there's a lot of American channels that say this, Australian channels, Indian, Nigerian channels.
That doesn't matter. It's an opinion. It's a matter of opinion, and the referees had a different opinion. The referee thought it was a draw. That's just what it is. Let's go.
Right, but you're telling me your opinion, and I'm telling you now, right, the world's opinion, right? This is what they think. They think that Fury won 9, if not 10 rounds of that first fight and was cheated. He should have won the first fight. He got cheated by the ref and the judges, more the judges than the ref. Right, the second fight, he clearly won. Now, bottom line is, you guys are saying, oh yeah, Fury's going to be... Well, the only people that are going to...
All right, so hold on, champ. So hold on. So you saying, first of all, I don't know if we can stick real with this topic, because the fact is, our opinion doesn't matter. Even if I thought Fury won or Wilder won, it was ruled a draw. We're just going back to what was shown. But hold on. We're going back to what was actually done in that fight. Remember in the last round when Deontay Wilder dropped Tyson Fury, there's a picture, I have pictures of it, of Tyson Fury gloves. It's open. There appears to be knuckles shown. Now, when Fury actually got up, he hit Deontay Wilder with a slapping hook, which most people would say this: a slapping hook does not have power, right? But when you watch that fight, that hook actually hurt Deontay Wilder, in my opinion. But now it actually makes sense, because even though it appeared to be a normal slap hook to where the fist never really makes contact, if the laces are loose and the gloves are sliding down, the fist is actually where the laces ports are at. So he's not getting hit with a slap. He's getting hit with knuckles, which will explain why Wilder actually got hurt from a slap. Because Fury came back and hurt him in that fight. Well, Wilder had to hold on, but the shot was a slap. It wasn't knuckles, but it appeared not to be knuckles.
Do you know what I found out? That Wilder's fragile and he's got a fucking terrible chin and he does not like to get hit. Right, this is why he stayed well clear of punches. And also, so you want to talk about cheating and dirty fighters, Wilder's one of the most renowned grab-it punchers in the whole of boxing. You look at Ortiz one. Ortiz said he should have been fucking taken to criminal charges against him, right? And that he's the dirtiest fighter he's ever seen. Now you look at Stavern too, rabbit punch to the back of the head that KO'd him. Now you want to start...
all right, but hold on. Was his gloves ever loose? Was his gloves hanging down the back?
Filthy.
Listen, even though what Fury hit Wilder was a clear back of the head shot, I don't believe nobody can argue that. And most people, remember, I said the back of the head shots, the headlocks, that is up to the referee. I am not arguing for that. I am not arguing against that. So that is a point I'm not trying to prove or defend. I am only talking about the gloves and them flopping around like a kite in the wind and him landing with the knuckles and not the actual gloves. Listen, the fact is, we're not going to agree on this, because you know that there's something funny. Because you want Tyson Fury to win, and you even more, you want Deontay Wilder to lose. You would take a win by any means necessary. You see the shit.
I'm an AJ Whyte fan, right? Make no mistake about that. Yeah, I like Fury, yeah.
But you do not like Wilder. Facts. Come on.
Come on. And I rate Fury as a purist boxer than all of them, yeah. But the bottom line is, he didn't cheat. If he cheated, yeah. Now I've got fellow countrymen that have cheated. I've got no problem saying that they cheated, yeah. But he didn't cheat, bro. The bottom line is, you lot need to fucking
all right.
get over it and move, because it ain't good.
So let's look at this. Okay, before we round it up, let's look at this. You saying Fury didn't cheat? Fury already had an incident with his left glove in the Christian Hammer fight, to where he had to completely replace it because all of his hand was found not to be in the glove. Actually, that is, to me, that doesn't. It would definitely make the claim of this being loose or not in the glove. Hold on, champ. Champ, hold on. Give me 60 seconds, champ. Earlier, you said that the commissioner watched when it's wrapped, Everybody watches when he put it in. Everybody makes sure it's okay. But when Tyson Fury made it to that ring to fight Christian Hammer, it had passed all checkpoints, even when he got in the ring, until the referee grabbed his hand and was like, "What the fuck is your thumb? Where's your thumb? Why is all your hand is not in your glove?" The referee shook his head and said, "We're not going to have a fight until you fix that glove." Tyson Fury was in the ring shadowboxing with one glove on, and they had to completely replace the glove, and it had passed all inspections just like it passed now. I'm calling it a magician. It's a magician move, bro. You get past all checkpoints, and then you do what you got to do. Let's go.
Right. For a start, I think the glove was ripped. It wasn't loose, right? And secondly, that was not the Nevada Commission, who are meant to be the most stringent and strictest commissioner.
But, bro, where the glove? Listen, what's a check? Come on, champ.
And it also wasn't for the WBC champion of the world in America. Now, America, come on, bro.
Wow, bro. Really?
America would cheat Wilder out of the fucking fight. They wouldn't. They tried to cheat him. The ref was biased towards Wilder, and the judges in the first fight.
The referee was biased. What, guys? Listen. Hold on, man. You have to stop there. Even people on your side would agree that the referee was not biased for Deontay Wilder. As many shots that Fury hit him in the back of the head, Fury was choking his man in the headlock. Fury was putting his palm in his face and then hitting him. I'll tell you right now, the referee was not biased for Deontay Wilder. He let Tyson Fury fight him like a WWE wrestling match. If anything, he would have stopped every time Fury palmed him. He would have stopped every time Fury put him in a headlock and stood up and read back with it. He didn't do that. So let's go back to that. After I just debunked that, let's go back to the Christian Hammer fight. Listen, bro. Listen, hold on.
Hold on. In your own head that you debunked.
Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. No, I just debunked that. From what happened in that fight, that we saw all the choke moves, the headlocks, the palming in the face, bro. I can see you pictures. That it happened. It was happening numerous times throughout the fight versus Deontay Wilder. And even in the first fight, you can't claim that he was biased for Deontay Wilder because this man was knocked out. And the referee, most referees would have waved it fucking off. This referee gave a knocked out man the benefit of the doubt. That right there squashes your biasness for Deontay Wilder. Now let's go back to this. Hold up. It was a two-point statement you made. Let's go back to this Christian Hammer. You trying to act like just because it's the USA that we check everything, this and that should make an excuse for things not being checked for the Christian Hammer fight versus Tyson Fury.
Nevada Commission in particular.
We're not going to go into particulars. The fact is that Tyson Fury glove had passed all of their inspections all the way until he got in the ring to fight. And we can even talk about this. There was a fighter from the U.S. He's not from the USA. He fought in the USA. Named Margarito, right? Margarito was using plaster wraps, and it was passed by commissions all the way up until a trainer caught it. So you cannot tell me because the commissioners see it that they don't overlook shit. Because I tell you right now, a lot of them commissioners and people that's in there watching it, they don't even know what the hell they're watching. They there just to get their check and do their job. As long as everything look uppity up, they're not saying anything about it. It come down to people actually catching it. It came down to the referee actually catching Tyson Fury inside the ring and grabbing his actual hand and realizing a hand wasn't there. It came down to not Prince Nazim. What? Is it not Coach Nazim, the trainer, catching Margarito using plaster wraps that he just used to beat Miguel Cotto the fight before that, and he was about to use to beat Shane Mosley and busting him. Nobody else caught that. So we can agree that shit can get by them. And there's possibly that something could have got by them. And
wait. Can I just say, right, what I've noticed, right, is all of you guys, right, out of all of the hundreds of boxers and all of the, like, you've got Stacey McGinley, Leon Muhammad, Regis Prograde, lots of black American boxers, yeah, people like Teddy Atlas, loads of people have come out and said that everything is legit. Now you pick three.
But listen, but just as many fighters came out and said it wasn't. Come on, champ. Just as many fighters came out and said that it wasn't, champ. Come on. Jesus. George Groves from the UK said it wasn't. Said something was up, champ. George Groves said gloves don't move like that, champ. Earl Spence Jr. said gloves don't move like that, champ.
Steve Cunningham, who Fury kicked his ass, yeah, and you guys have clung on to this with dear life and tried.
You're breaking up. Champ, you must be speaking too loud. They miss all of it. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, champ. We can't hear you.
Right, listen.
Start over. We didn't hear you. We miss you. Go back.
I'm going to start again, right? You guys have seemed to pick 3 or 4 boxers, i.e. Steve Cunningham, yeah, George Groves, and Charles Martin, and I think maybe one other boxer that come out. Now, apart from them 3 people, right, the whole professional boxing, black, white, American, British, European, everyone thinks that Fury won fair and square. Just accept it, guys, man. Graciously, right?
That's a false. You can't say everyone. That's an automatic lie right there. You say everyone, it's an automatic lie. But keep going with these lies.
Ladies and Wilder will not improve with people blowing smoke up his arse, telling him it's everyone else's fault. He's got to go back to basics. He's got to learn to box, and he's got to come back better and stronger.
Nobody said anything like that. See, AD, listen, you're saying things that no one is saying. No one is saying this. Remember, people are saying, I even said this. I said that, remember, I'm personal. I don't represent everybody else. I'm an individual thinker. I said that Deontay Wilder needs to make additions and modifications to his training staff to improve on areas that he is lacking in. We're not talking about that, and nobody's not debating that. I believe Tyson Fury is a better boxer, but being a boxer don't always make you win fights, because sometimes one fighter can have something that can trump the many great things a fighter can do, such as having great power or somebody have great speed. But I believe that Deontay Wilder needs to learn some more things. He needs to focus more on defense. But the focus right here is that most people can agree. Even what is his name? Atlas, right? Can't think of his first name. Even Atlas says something like, first of all, the wild boar meat. He even laughed at that show like he never heard no shit like that before, which means it's a lie. And he also admitted that something was that them gloves moving funny like that. That there's something up with that, right? I mean, listen, people that know boxing and been in the ring that actually fought and put on a decent pair of gloves. And think about this: these are 10-ounce gloves that are fit tight to a big man's hand. How the fuck are they flopping? These are not 20-ounce gloves. They're 10-ounce gloves that are taped on your hand. Your hand is taped onto your wrist, and they're flopping around. At the least, you can say it is suspect.
I've got to go, yeah. That's what
Teddy Atlas, thank you. Observing stuff in the building.
Yeah, but boy, look, bottom line is no one else thinks that apart from the 3 fighters and you guys. Take care, stay clear of the flu, and I'll see you soon, guys.
He did, guys. All right. That's AD, guys. Once again, guys, listen. Shout out to AD coming through, man. I actually like disagreeing with that, man. What I mean is, I think we learn more from each side, right? He's not going to change his stance. I'm not going to change my stance, but maybe it'll provide more information to the people, right? Obviously, we don't agree on much. Maybe we agree that Wilder and Whyte should fight. At least I want that to happen. But listen, man, in my opinion, that at the bare minimum, if you ever put on gloves or tape, that the hand with gloves on shouldn't do shit like this here. It shouldn't. A matter of fact, I got a tape somewhere because I got to get ready and go back to work. Gosh, I had it. I had brought home, I've been had it here because we had a fighter that was going to fight, but he didn't get a chance to fight. And I have my gauze and I have my tape that I was going to use to wrap his hands. So One, he admitted that without, and I'm going to recap this guy just not coming in. AD from the UK jumped in the line. I appreciate it. I appreciate him bringing smoke. The one thing I want to do better on my part, I want to be able to make it to where he's louder. I got to work on that, and I'm going to do my job to see if I can work on getting him louder so it can come off better for you guys. But one, here's the thing that AD don't realize that he helped me debunk. Everybody is saying, including me, that the gloves over there are bent back. As you can see, the arrow is pointing. It's been back about 90, 91 degrees, right? It's been back quite a bit. I asked AD to perform something for me. I said, AD, take your hand and bend it backwards this way. Now, even without that, to be honest, I may can go maybe 35 degrees. You know, listen, I don't have a double jointed wrist. I may can go 35 degrees out this way. Obviously, he's vouching for Fury, so he said I can go about 60 to 65, which still doesn't match up to 90 degrees that we see right there. So then I asked him a question. Well, if you can do this about 60 to 65 without gloves on, right? Listen, I promise you, you have to try to hold it here. This does not come natural. You have to try to hold it like that. And then I asked him this. I said, okay, now imagine, matter of fact, I'm going to fight it. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Shit, I can't find it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Then I put it here. Where did I put it? Did I bury it? All right, guys. I must have buried it. Damn it. I really wanted to show you guys what they actually put on their wrist, right? So let me jump in where I was off, where I stopped at. Is that if you can barely move your hand 60 degrees, according to AD, this way, if somebody put tapes on it, right? That's what they do, right? They take gauze, right? They always start with the wrist. It always starts here. Boom, boom, open, round the thumb, boom, boom. Then they put the tape on. Boom, boom. So they put tape heavily here. They put tape right here, right? Goes around. That is, the tape is put on for you not to be able to move your wrist, because you can break your wrist or sprain it very badly if you're throwing a punch where it's either bent in or bent out. And imagine they put the tape on there, and then they put a brand new unbroken in glove. And I use the example, if you buy brand new shoes, they're typically not comfortable until you wear them for a couple weeks. So if you put on brand new, straight out the bag gloves, they're stiff, which add more firm to you not being able to move your hand. AD answered and said this: I will have less movement than I would have had without the glove on. And so he has 60 degrees without it on. So if it had less movement, we can consider him, let's say, half to 30 degrees. Then how do you explain this man's in brand new gloves, wraps, tapes to bend it back 90 degrees? It doesn't make sense. Let's see. Observing yourself, Frank West in the building. But let's get back to it. So then he comes out, right? We start talking about, what was the last thing he said? Everybody is talking about Deontay Wilder. Well, no, he didn't. He said, nobody believes the gloves. Nobody believes that. Only 3 or 4 people believe this. No real boxing people or in boxing. Listen, it's really hard to I guess, really debunk AD because he debunks himself, right? Because when he said that nobody in boxing, that's in the professional world of boxing, is even saying anything about the gloves. It's only us Wilder fans based on YouTube. And then when I immediately come out and name professionals that have talked about it, even the ones that have hinted at, hey, there's something up with those gloves. Teddy Atlas, Earl Spence Jr., Charles Martin, who's a former champion, Steve Cunningham, even the referee, even the referee admitted that Fury was a dirty fighter. But when I mentioned that, no, these are all professional people. George Groves, that's even from the UK, these are professional people that are telling you there is something obviously up with those gloves. These are professional fighters who get laced up and contend. Charles Martin fought the same night under the undercard of Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2. His gloves did not move like that at all when Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury. His gloves did not move like that at all. The last 50 fights I've seen, nobody gloves move like that at all. So listen, when you see something like that that's out of the ordinary, you have to question it. At the bare minimum, it seems suspect. The bare minimum, the laces are open. The knuckles are exposed. It looks suspect. But do I want Tyson Fury suspended? Do I want him to retire? Do I want him to relinquish the belt for somebody else to fight for it? No. I want Wilder versus Fury. I want that. Give me the third fight. Since everything is out there now, things that we did not know the first fight. See, the first fight, we didn't know what to look for. We didn't know what to look for during the first fight because Tyson Fury was just coming back. He fought a couple of Rudy Poots, some guys he should have beat. We didn't know what really to expect in a Deontay Wilder fight. He fought better than expected. And by him fighting better than expected, doing better than expected, winning rounds we thought he wouldn't win, getting up from shots we thought he wouldn't get up from, I think it was overpraised enough to that we overlooked what Wilder actually done in that fight. And it was praised and overlooked enough that nobody even thought about paying attention to the gloves. Now, there's many channels that done videos and said that Fury slaps, he slaps a lot. All he's doing is slapping, he's slapping. But now we realize he wasn't just slapping. He wasn't just slapping. In many people's opinion, his hand wasn't all in a glove. So it may appear to be a slap because a glove slap, but he actually was hit with knuckles that were lying in between loose laces. Because most fighters will tell you that a slap doesn't hurt like that. I got a good friend, Johnny. Johnny goes to the gym with me. Johnny has autism. Really good guy, though. And Johnny slapped 200 and maybe 25, 30 pounds, but Johnny slaps his shots, right? And when I'm doing sparring rounds with Johnny, I'm saying, you slapping, Johnny, you slapping. Because I train Johnny, too. And they don't hurt. They don't hurt. But the moment he started turning them shots over, they hurt. So it made me wonder, right? Damn, I was thinking to myself, in that fight, how did that slapping left hook that Fury hit Wilder with, how the hell did that actually hurt Wilder, right? Because you can tell he was really hurt because the shot hit with a slap. It hit like this. Well, it looked like this because the glove was this way and the laces hit like this. But in reality, yes, his elbow cocked this way. The glove is facing this way, but the knuckles are facing this way. The glove landed like this, but the knuckles are landing like that. AD said that Deontay Wilder doesn't have a chin, he has a weak chin. Well, if you have a weak chin, it definitely would have been exposed before now. Ortiz is not no soft touch, not a weak puncher. It would have been exposed then. It would have been exposed in any of the fights he had before then. It would have been exposed in the first fight between Tyson and Fury. If you say that Wilder doesn't have a chin, then how come, even though he had the floppy gloves on the first fight, he wasn't able to put Wilder down? That debunks him having a weak chin. Observing subset, a slap to the ear will hurt. not it can not as much, not in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't be affected for it, but it is. Remember, when you slap somebody with gloves on, it is not like slapping them with off gloves. Because with gloves on, I'm gonna show you. Hold on. I got like 2 minutes, guys. I know I gotta jump back on here. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right. Damn it, guys. Listen, I gotta get back to my work. I got a message that I gotta get to, but I will come back. T-Dub was Blazing Sports. Thank you all.